Britain was broke. In 1936, the country was still recovering from the Great Depression. Unemployment hit 2 million. The government slashed military spending. Yet somehow, over the next 9 years, Britain built 20,000 of the world's most advanced fighters, Spitfires that cost twice as much as other aircraft. This is the story of how a bankrupt nation created the plane that saved it. The mystery begins with money that didn't exist. Each Spitfire cost £12,000 in 1940 when a house cost £200. The Air Ministry calculated Britain could afford maybe 3,000 fighters total. They needed 15,000 minimum to survive. The math was impossible, but Britain found a way to cheat financial reality. First came the shadow factories. In 1936, the government approached car manufacturers with a deal. Build secret aircraft factories, and we'll pay you back someday. No contracts, no guarantees, just promises. Remarkably, companies agreed. Rover, Morris, and Standard Motor Company started building hidden Spitfire plants. These weren't military contractors, they made family cars. Yet within 2 years, Birmingham housewives who'd never seen an airplane were assembling Merlin engines. Lord Beaverbrook, the newspaper tycoon turned aircraft production minister, invented creative financing. He convinced banks to loan money against future victory. Not government bonds, just the promise that Britain would win and repay. He organized Spitfire funds, where towns raised money to buy their own fighter. A village might collect £5,000 and get their name painted on a plane. Portsmouth citizens paid for 15 Spitfires by donating pots, pans, and garden gates. The real financial magic happened in the Commonwealth. Canada didn't charge Britain for pilot training, they absorbed the cost. Australia shipped raw materials on credit. South African gold mines provided metals with payment delayed until after the war. India contributed millions despite its own poverty. The empire was financing aircraft it couldn't afford either. Workers accepted payment in war bonds instead of cash. Factories ran 3 shifts using volunteers. Women worked for half wages. Engineers donated overtime. One factory manager calculated his real labor costs at 30% of normal because people worked for victory, not money. The numbers reveal the impossible scale. Castle Bromwich factory alone built 12,000 Spitfires, more than Germany's entire fighter production. Southampton's plants assembled fuselages in buildings bombed nightly. When German raids destroyed machine tools, America shipped replacements under Lend-Lease, payment postponed indefinitely. But here's the stunning part. Britain never actually paid for many Spitfires. Post-war audits showed creative accounting everywhere. Shadow factories wrote off costs as war losses. Commonwealth contributions were forgiven as shared victory expenses. American Lend-Lease dissolved into Marshall Plan aid. The 20,000 Spitfires cost perhaps 40% of their paper value. Lord Beaverbrook later admitted the truth. We built Spitfires on confidence, not cash. Everyone knew we couldn't afford them. But we also knew we couldn't afford not to build them. So we ignored the accounting and built them anyway. The Spitfire mystery wasn't really about money. It was about an entire empire deciding that survival mattered more than bookkeeping. Britain built 20,000 planes they couldn't afford by getting everyone to pretend money didn't matter. Sometimes, when civilization itself is at stake, creative accounting becomes the highest form of patriotism.